Alright, so welcome back to another video. This is a paid request, this time from Brian. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And he wanted me to do a commentary on a 1998 film called Ringu. And let's get right into it. Thank you so much for that. For anyone that wants to request any type of videos, PayPal is usually the best bet. Or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And pause the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Pressing play. Alright. So it should, yeah, it's playing now. About 7 seconds in. Now, I haven't seen this film in a long time. Because I remember not hating it, though. When I grew up, I didn't really watch much of foreign horror of any sort, Italian or Japanese or anything. When I was growing up, the horror movies I was into was more creature features. You know, they were Tremors, The Relic, Deep Rising. They were Split Second. They were Leviathan. They were The Blob from 1988. John Carpenter's The Thing. You know, that type of stuff. Aliens, which I know is more sci-fi, but and then horror would be like maybe Nightmare on Elm Street films or things of that nature. Maybe some slasher films like Friday the 13th or My Bloody Valentine, Halloween 2. But my first of this type of movie was the Ring remake. Wasn't the original, it was the remake with Naomi Watts, directed by Gore Verbinski, which I remember liking. I still like. I think because, I like the story, I like the whole idea of the 7 days, you watch a tape, 7 days you die, the mystery of to solve what the images in the tape, how they relate to each other, which I thought was very visually dynamic, the way Gore Verbinski handled it in the remake. So I do remember watching the original, and it's not really fair to, it's somewhat similar. Of course it is. That one was a remake. And I've seen quite a few of these like Japanese horror films. There was the original The Grudge. There was a one in a hospital called Infection. There was one called Pulse. There was Dark Water. There was a film called Tear. The Eye, I think one was called. And some of them, like Tear, it was there. I did feel some of the dread and atmosphere. Some, like The Grudge, I'm like, nah. Even the remake of The Grudge I didn't like with Sarah Michelle Gellar. I mean, I'm sorry, a kid screaming and cat sounds come out. Meow, meow. I find that laughable and pretty stupid, in my opinion. Oh, Planters Peanuts. At least they got some Planters Peanuts to solve the case. And Ritz Tractors. Wonder if they were sponsored. If you want to survive a ghost, Ritz and Planters. Plant your Ritz up your ass. So these two are talking about, she saw something. The tape in 7 days. We all watched this weird video. There you go. I'm trying to think. I think in the remake, like they hear a phone call, and then maybe it's the voice they turn, and it's you come out of the TV. I think the phone's here, but then you find out it's like her mom or something. But yeah, maybe because growing up in the era of VHS tapes, the idea of a tape that's cursed just intriguing. But then it's like, the cell phone is cursed, this picture is cursed, the hospital was cursed, my eye is cursed, what's next? My dildo is cursed, the cock ring is cursed, the toe ring is cursed, the tongue piercing is cursed. It's just got, everything, everything needs to be cursed. But some of them, like, I vaguely, like I said, I don't remember a whole lot about it. I've only seen this once. But I remember there was some atmosphere and dread in there. But I guess, I wonder if they've made a lot of these movies today. I mean, there's a lot of ghost movies still. But now, then, in terms of like The Conjuring and the Conjuring universe, Annabelle, those type of movies. Look how many Insidious films there were. There was even one that came out with the red door or something. Behind the green door, whatever it was. Ah, the phone's ringing. Don't pick it up as the IRS man. Is that magazine Cutie? There's a magazine there called Cutie. Just has a magazine in Japan, Cutie. It's interesting though that's in English. I mean, it's in Japan, but they have a magazine where everything else is in Japanese, but the title is in English. I wonder why that is. Because it's not like we have magazines where everything's in English, but the title's in Spanish or Japanese. But I don't know. I remember that phones when they used to have cords in it. Nowadays, people watch this and go, God, they got multiple phones. There's like a phone on the bottom left, and there's a phone on the right. They got two phones? What is this, a rich family? They got two phones. One's green, one's white. She's on the green phone. So it is her mom on the phone. But yeah, remember when they had cords so you couldn't get too far? Nowadays, in the age of cell phones, now that seems so antiquated, the cords on the phone. Like back to the day, oh, I got a cordless phone. Most people like, aren't they all cordless? But she's going to the toilet. Let's not follow along. Man, girls in Japan really they love the skirts. Not that I'm complaining. Hey, I think Asian women are beautiful. I think as long as you're, 20 and older and clean and willing, then yeah, all women are beautiful to me. But Asian women are pretty beautiful and sexy, I'll admit that. God, remember those TVs where they're the fat backs? Nowadays, wherever all the TVs are so thin, it's weird that, I'm so used to TVs looking that way still, even though I'm staring at a TV that looks nothing like that. But I'm so used to TV having such a big back on it. Is that McDonald's French fry magnet holding that picture up on the back? On her right shoulder? Of course, with me, it's a horror scene. I'm noticing the McDonald's. Oh my gosh, she died from overexposure. Obviously, it's the curse, and we gotta hide, build up to it, not blow our load too soon, as we say. So here we're a reporter looking into this 7 days tape curse. The legend of it, of course. But it's an interesting idea, you watch a tape and 7 days you die. It's a great premise. It has a great hook to it. It's like Speed. What if you're on a bus, but it can't go below 50 miles per hour? What if you watch a videotape, but you have 7 days to live? So, see, she's drinking orange juice. What are they drinking? One's like, what, pineapple juice? And what's the other? Grapefruit? Because everybody, they heard it from a friend, and they heard it from a friend, from a friend, from a friend. Of course. Nobody knows. We heard it from a friend, from a friend, from a friend. Pop Idol. Star Ghost on TV. I'll tell you one thing, if people saw Idol Ghost on TV, it would make a lot more of the news. But yeah, I mean, definitely after the Ring remake came out, that was a hit. And like I said, I do like that one. I didn't. I think maybe just the premise, the mystery of solving the images of the tape, it just felt a bit more engaging. Because I don't get scared by these movies. I don't. I don't think they're scary. But you're hoping they create an atmosphere and mood, and some of them do more so than others. Yeah, remember that newspapers? You had this thing you could actually read physically called a newspaper. Nowadays it'd be all on the internet. 19-year-old Tokyo boy and a 17-year-old Yokohama girl found dead in her car on the morning of September 6th. They just said 6th, but September. This lady's a reporter, not doing too bad of a job. So far, I have no issues with the acting in the movie. I know they made a lot of sequels to this movie. There's a Ring 2, which was very different from the American Ring 2, which the American Ring 2 was directed by the guy who directed this movie, funny enough. But then that movie was so garbage, and you're wondering how did the director of this movie make such an awful American sequel? Did he do it on purpose? Like, you try to take my fame? I don't make a sequel so bad they don't forget about the original. They don't think of mine. So like Naomi Watts and her kid, you have this girl and her kid. But yeah, there's a lot of sequels to this. There's like Ring Zero. There's even a versus movie, The Ring versus The Grudge. I know it's not called as called their respective names. Those characters. I forgot Sadako versus whoever. I forget what the other name was, but it's The Ring versus The Grudge. But yeah, they made a lot in Japan. I guess if it was that successful, that's why. But yeah, in the Americas, yeah, the Ring 2, then nothing for a lot of years until Rings, which did nothing. And it deserved to do. Well, did I see that one? I'm getting confused with the Grudge remake, which had John Cho in it, wasted in a nothing part. So that's what I'm getting confused by. I don't know if I ever saw Rings, but I did see that. I say new, but it was years ago, The Grudge, and no one cared. And it bombed. I just said, hey, we'll remake this since films like The Conjuring and Insidious movies, Annabelle, all these other movies become so popular. What was that about? The little boy saw the picture and just did this. Had a headache, going ding dong. You trying to wake up your forehead? Ding dong. It's a closed coffin. Okay, we're going to see this person's face then. They mentioned it's a closed coffin. We're going to eventually see what this face is. It's going to be like this horrific image. I would assume they're going to roll that route. But maybe not. Oh, don't walk upstairs, man. Never walk upstairs by yourself. Although the kid didn't see the tape, so he should be safe. If you think, I mean, the kid didn't see the tape, so what? He shouldn't be worried about anything. No. He didn't see the tape, or does he find the tape? Or does the TV turn on and he watches the footage of the tape? That's what you do for wandering. Don't be nosy. There's the TV. Oh, it's one of those TVs with a VCR in it, I think. Yeah, you shouldn't just be wandering around, kid. Kid's nosy. Sorry for the yawn. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but sorry for the low energy, but I have to be one of those reactors that's just going all crazy. Have a thumbnail like this. Have a thumbnail like. I mean, if people, hey, if they do that and it makes them happy, it works for them. Be my guest. It just, I don't usually feel that way with movies. I just watch them, normally. By dad, you're playing up to the camera. I understand. I said all the girls just. I guess that's the thing over there. I guess when you go to school, you just wear these skirts. That's the uniform. I mean, I guess to be fair, I've seen that in quite a few movies. The Japanese schoolgirl uniform. Some of them on the web. Some of them have X's in it. 3 X's. So a bunch of people died the same day and they all saw the video. Oh, so the girl at the beginning, she's in the hospital. Oh. Damn, the cameraman got sure shaky. They're screaming, but not for joy. But yeah, 1998. Sorry, 1998. There's quite a few films. You never saw a corpse like that. It's just, a head back and mouth open. Yeah, it's a head back and mouth open. You haven't seen a corpse like that? I mean, it doesn't look that strange. I mean, if they were shriveled up or if they were like completely twisted, that'd be a different thing. But yeah, 1998, there was quite a few movies. Yeah, and it's the background noise, roosters and stuff. That's what you hear with the farmland around here. But 1998, you had Armageddon, you had Deep Impact, you had the American Godzilla by Roland Emmerich, you had The Master of Zorro, The Big Lebowski. Yeah, quite a few films in 98. I'm trying to remember what horror films were 98. I mean, Blade, you want to call it. I mean, it's vampires, so a bit of horror. I think Bride of Chucky was 98. I'd have to look up like 1998 horror films to see. But yeah. And obviously with these movies, it's going to be more of a slow burn. They're not going to be Michael Bay type of movies, of course, or balls to wall gore and stuff. I mean, that's not really what you're looking for in these. If you are, then you're in the wrong movie. But it's more the slow, creeping dread that they hope to capture for the audience. The Photoshop. How did none of the cops see that piece of paper? You think if they're investigating... I mean, that's definitely a creepy... that's a creepy image. The look in a closet, you find someone... look like they're scared to death. Are the photos altered? Like their faces altered? Or maybe I might be... Maybe I'm getting confused with the remake. Oh, yeah, there you go. Faces in the photos. Faces are blurred. Okay. I mean, yeah, I thought I remember something about it, but I didn't. Some things I might be getting misconstrued with the remake. Monday, September 13th. That day is going to come into important play later on. If I wonder what I'm doing, I'm looking at what horror films came out in 1998. Apt Pupil, I guess you'd call it a horror. Blade, Bride of Chucky. Children of the Corn 5. Curse of the Puppet Master. Deep Rising, which I love. Die Hard Dracula. The Faculty. We're gonna be more sci-fi. Halloween H2O. The last broadcast. I just easily say this is way better than the last broadcast. And I might have seen Die Hard Dracula. And if I did, this is definitely better than that. And this is definitely better than Curse of the Puppet Master. The Minion with Dolph. The Prophecy 2. The Psycho remake. This is definitely better than the Psycho remake. Bram Stoker's Shadow Builder. Strangeland. The Untold Story 2. Urban Legend. John Carpenter's Vampires. Oh, there you go. Of course, big mistake. Go and watch the tape. Okay, not yet. Oh yeah, that was in the remake as well, but it was more like an isolated cabin by a lake type of thing. So the location was a little bit different. Or it was like a motel. Was it like a motel? There was like a motel, like a lodge motel type of thing. Something like that. So obviously you're going to find the tape here eventually and then watch it. Now is yeah, it's like they got a tennis court back there. Lean cuisine dining. Oh yeah, motel, just like just it was in the remake. They were at a motel as well. So okay. I think it was like or was it a cabin? It shows how much I remember about stuff. My mind is going. Swear. A lot of tapes. Yeah, you assume. Yep. Oh yeah, that would be a lot more adult-oriented tapes. But it is an interesting thing as well. Like a motel or somewhere else. Maybe if it was a video store, you just have this one tape that's blank. So because it's blank, you're curious about it. So then when you're curious to watch it, then you get this curse. There's always those myths. I don't know if they're myths, but legends. People like filming a tape, and they make it look like it's a snuff film, and then they leave it somewhere at a video store or something like that, waiting for someone to watch it. Here's the tape. Looks like I think a moon or something. Someone combing their hair. There's another mirror. Bunch of words. Then a bunch of people crawling. Looking for love. Kid's pointing. What are you pointing to, kid? An eyeball. And then the well. Yeah, it was definitely a shorter tape than the remake. I seen the remake, like there was a bit with a ladder and like it just felt more creepy. It felt more visually dynamic to the tape in the remake. Ah, here you go. So if you don't pick up the phone, does it still start the 7 days? Well, if you pick up like 2 days later, will it then start the 7 days, or if you pick up 5 days? I didn't even say 7 days, right? It just had some buzzy sound. Yeah, he didn't say 7 days. Just had a buzzing sound. This is your credit. She's ready to believe it right away. It's not like, oh, it's a figment of my imagination. Ah, this isn't real. This is ridiculous. She seemed pretty general to believe it right then and there. But I guess you watch a weird tape and then you see this creepy girl. The boy don't want none of that. Leave him alone. Guy just staring at him in the rain. Say, what you doing, fool? What you want? What do you want? Step into my parlor. Guy's like, okay, what's the damage? So this guy knows something's up. You feel something. Feel the force. Feel the pulse, I don't know. Alright. God damn it. Sorry, plugged in my phone. And I do think this girl does a decent enough job. Naomi Watts had a little bit more, I don't want to say gravitas, it's put a bit over the top, but a bit more memorable with as an actress. All the Polaroids. Yeah, when he takes a picture, she's going to be blurred. But I mean, it's interesting to have sort of the suspense of the Polaroid when it reveals itself. Yep. You're not letting him watch the tape. She's not doing a good job to stop it. Stop the guy. You could at least try to stop the guy. You know what this is about, but you don't let this guy watch the tape as well. I would have tried to stop the person at least. Just lets the guy watch and just walks out of the room. Why do you let the guy watch it? I mean, I guess he allowed. I'm assuming she told him before. The phone call probably when he gets home or something. No phone call. Probably at your place. Yeah, why didn't the phone ring for the guy? Stop following the rules. Yeah, why didn't Why didn't I rain for the guy? I didn't. That's against the rules. There's no one give a shit about the rules. That'd be funny if like you find out he was like colorblind or something, so the curse didn't affect him. I wonder that's the thing, like if you have like some kind of affliction with your eye, like somehow it doesn't affect the damn the curse. Is a public phone running rain? What does this girl want? But nice legs. Nice thighs. They feel so good on my shoulders. That was weird. What the hell do you mean by that? Was it you? Did you do this? Okay, I don't know what. I don't remember what that was about. So does this guy know more about this? I said I've only seen this once, so I just keep thinking of the remake. Is gotta remember it's not gonna follow everything exactly beat for beat, which is nice because that means it wasn't a Xerox, but it was the general idea. I remember in the remake, the idea is that you make a copy, you show it to someone, and then the curse is lifted. So it'd be like technically, if this copy was made, and well, I guess this guy had already seen it. I'm like, well, the curse is now to him. Unless this is how she survived, she didn't realize it or something. I don't know. Because I don't think she dies at the end of this, just like Naomi Watts didn't die at the end of The Ring. The Ring 2, as bad as it is, I will give credit to one thing. It ended weirdly on a happy note with no sequel bait ending. The characters survived. They beat and stopped the curse. It's like trapped her in there forever. So technically, you didn't need any more sequels, which there weren't, because that film I don't think it did that well and wasn't well received. I can understand why, especially all the like CGI deers and all that stuff. But okay, it's a student of his. I was wondering like, who's that? I didn't realize ex-wife. They used to be married. Okay. Oh, is that why the guy was staring at the kid with the umbrella? Because that's his kid, but he doesn't say anything about it? They better not have left any copies there. What is she doing? One girl's mess up the chalkboard. Don't do that. Hands off. You do mess up the chalkboard. How dare you? Damn it. You mess up the chalkboard. How dare you? Yeah, they're studying the words on the tape. Maybe the words say, get out. Leave. A kid pointing. Sorry, I'm not saying anything and seeing what they're doing. They're looking at the footage with the kid pointing. I don't try to move the image to see. Where is it? Oh, some kind of voice, some kind of words. Maybe saying, take this fucking towel off my face. Take this towel off my face. That's what it means. He wants that towel off his face. He wants to be able to see. It's an interesting backpack. It looks like a lunch pail or like a little mailbox. Thursday, September 16th. Oshima Island. And yeah, I don't know if any of my viewers are Japanese or part of the Japanese culture. If so, number one, hi. Number two, nice to meet you. Number three, how is it there? And number four, maybe you can answer me this. How come, again, in certain magazines or newspapers, it's like it's all in Japanese, but then like one bit will be English. And like big words, English. So wonder why that's the case. So it's about mountains of volcanoes erupting? Okay. It was definitely different from the remake. Because in the remake, there's nothing about mountains and volcanoes. But it's them looking for the location. I still understand. I don't understand how this guy never got a phone call. You only have 4 days left. So he does believe in the curse, or he thinks maybe it's going to be some killer going to go after her. But why is it not affecting him? That's what I'm confused by. Why is he not being affected by it? Just something that would be revealed or some twist or something, but I don't remember why is that affecting him. So now they're going to see Grandpa. Seems like a nice location. Nice scenery. You fish where I tell you to fish. And Tana, get this kid to bed. No bed. Yeah, I guess they don't like beds in Japan or something. Let them sleep on the floor. I would think that would hurt your back. I mean, I guess they have something underneath, but I guess I'd be worried about like bugs and stuff crawling over you, because if they're on the floor and you're on the floor, and then bugs crawl over you, at least on the bed it'd be a bit tougher for them to get to. They gotta climb first. Yeah, I wonder why. Like, that's another thing. Like, why is it that there's not really beds? It's just you sleep on the floor. I mean, I'm sure it's a culture thing, but I don't know if there's anything more to it than that. I mean, Asian films in general. There's been films I've enjoyed. Not just Japan, but China and like, just anything Asian. Of course, martial arts films, kung fu films, John Woo films, like Hard Boiled and Bull in the Head, Inframan, which was, I think, China's trying to do Ultraman. I like to do a chunk of the Godzilla movies. Rikio, the story of Ricky, that's a fun one. Yeah. Kids trying to point you in some kind of direction, I guess. I don't remember who Tomo-chan is. So of course the kid watched the tape. So she didn't bring the tape, so you can't really blame her. was like, why'd she bring the tape? She didn't bring the tape. She left the tape. Oh, Tomoko was the girl that died. Okay. I will say, like, compared to the remake, I'm feeling the pacing of this a bit dragging. Which is funny because I think the Rain remake is a lot longer. Because isn't the Rain remake like 2 hours? Hour and 55 minutes. But this one's only like an hour and 35 minutes or something. So this is like 20 minutes or so shorter, and I think it's because the images relating to the video felt a bit more memorable and specific. Ooh, like this, not visceral, but moments that catch your attention. The fly. At first, Naomi Watts, the fly is just on the screen, but at one point she knows there's a fly, and it's actually real. And when she takes it off, the fly's not on the screen anymore. It's in her hand, her fingers. Okay. Well, that's the thing, like, so far, you really haven't seen much of the ghost do anything, or supernatural do anything. It was a lot of talk, a lot of dialogue, them looking for information. The kid sees the tape. She sees a little image in bed, a flash. This guy saw a pair of legs, which I mean, it's not a bad image to see, those pair of legs. They go all the way up. But that's all you see for 53 minutes, and so I don't know. To me, there's just not a whole lot of imagery that really captures the attention so far, at least for me. I won't say I hate it, but I would say this feels a bit more boring than the remake. That's just me, though. But I'm not saying it's terrible either. I mean, compared to films I've seen, like Skinamarink and a Serbian film, and hell, I mean, not even horror, but Madam Web and Night Swim, and, well, they try to be horror. Madam Web was horrible. This is at least watchable. They like to do this tendency of just making the sound effects ratchet up. Like, not scratching, but anytime something happens, they really ratchet up the sound. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to get something done, but I'm paused at 54 minutes and 25 seconds. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And actually, since this is subtitled and I can hear with the headphones from here a little bit of the audio, I just watch it like this. That's a good thing with subtitle movies. But well, I mean, she's certainly distressed. Go figure. We're 54 minutes and 59 seconds in so far. So, for those who are keeping track. What do you want, guy? Not hungry? No kidding. What do you think? I like how this guy's so nonchalant. What does it mean by I'm not normal? Wow, what a great guy. We shouldn't have had a kid in the first place. Maybe all three of us should have died. Wow, what a great guy. There's still 2 days left. And this guy is so nonchalant about everything. Is that like just the Japanese way or something else? And what are we supposed to care for this guy? Like, we shouldn't have had a kid and maybe all three of us should die. Well, what a great lead. Well, he's not the lead, but... yeah, it's 2 days left and she hasn't really experienced much horror for those 5 days previously. So... I mean, I guess that's the thing at the beginning where the girl, she didn't seem too scared either, other than she was told, they not even told 70s, but just got that weird phone call thing. This guy just lying back, is Sinbad smoking a cigarette with his Obi-Wan Kenobi outfit. He does look like a Jedi. There's a storm coming. Maybe it's a hurricane coming. It's Shane Helms. That girl was a strange one. Well, I mean, to be fair, it seems like there's not really much else to do there but stare at the sea. Not sure if you get a lot of movies or stuff in that area. I mean, this is 1998, so it's still the early days of the internet. The girl would read minds? This guy trying to run away. He has abilities too? Okay, well this is definitely different and wasn't in the remake, that this guy has abilities. Did we know about that beforehand, or and I just missed it, or are we learning about this now? So now he's like the dead zone. He's touching him and now seeing all this stuff. Don't bother him. He's doing his dead zoneness. Oh, now she's seeing it. Okay. Let's join in the dead zone. So some kind of demonstration done in black and white. Demonstrating what? I don't know. Her abilities, I guess? To read minds? I guess so. She wrote what I wrote. So yeah, it's her mind reading abilities. So yeah, this is definitely something they did not put into the remake. Which I guess I can understand. It seems like he's trying to... I don't want to say over-explain, but... Damn, now all the reporters getting pissed. It's a magic show. Damn. That guy had... So one of the reporters died, and he has the same, open mouth. Sadako. That is the culprit at hand. The little girl. Damn, you need a hair. I know where I, but it's like you need a haircut. Maybe if you get that hair out of your eyes, you would calm down. Maybe she's so mad she can't see where she's going with all that hair in front of her. That's why she's so pissed at the world. She thinks the whole world is covered in darkness. It's like, lady, little girl, you just have to cut your hair. Or put it back in a ponytail. Can you imagine someone just getting some scissors? Maybe the Three Stooges were shrimp. But it was like when people had like spaghetti and shrimp. Or someone like take scissors, just cut it. Like cutting hair. Calm down, little girl. She could see. Now she's so much better. She's so much happier. She doesn't want to kill anymore. Because she can see. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. And she's so pissed that she can't see. Sadako's rage against the machine. Now the guy's not being nonchalant. Now he's out here. There's a typhoon coming. It's like, we'll get a boat no matter what. This girl only got like, I don't know, 2 or 1 day left. Tell one thing, this girl's like ready to give up so many times. Just doesn't come off as strong. Like Naomi Watts had a bit of fire in her to carry on this investigation. Her, she's like ready to crumble and just give up. She's letting this guy do all the work. I mean, for this typhoon, it seems like things are okay. I mean, there's a bit of wind, I guess, but so she mentions it didn't rain at my house, it rained at the cabin. So we assume that this guy, the phone rang at the cabin as well? So they're taking the ferry boat. Like I said, like, we're over an hour and 6 minutes. I just really haven't felt much of the horror in this movie. A few times the sound tries to go up tempo. There's that little flashback where the reporter died. There's really has. I mean, I'm not saying I want jump scares, far from it, but it just really hasn't been much. Sadako, you haven't seen much of her at all, or I didn't. I think that's why I like the remake more. Is that it was consistent, where you saw images as tape and how it connected, and you learn a bit more of how each of the images connect. I don't know, just the mysteries just seemed a bit more involving for the viewer compared to this. So yes, this is one of those instances I would say the remake was better than the original. And again, I don't say I hate this film, but I would never watch this film again. Unless there was a request, of course. It wasn't human language, that's a weird way to put it. Yeah, those puppet phones, you never know who else used them before, so what kind of germs and stuff they have touching them. And here you have something that's going to touch your ear, and then you see your almost touching your mouth. You better hope the person didn't spit all over it. Just another thing, payphones. You don't see much of that anymore. I mean, by the time that movie Phone Booth came out, there were phone booths were going out of fashion, and that was like early 2000s, like 20 years ago or so. I have a feeling this guy's not going to make it. I mean, that's another thing with the remake. It seemed like with the little boy, the kid, you got a little bit more of the mom and daughter, I mean, mom and son relationship. Like the little boy felt a little bit more important to the story. Here it's like we've barely seen the boy, and he's just more of a plot device than a character. The plot device is I need to do this not only to save myself, but even if I die, to save my son. But then we never really see the kid, what he's going through, what's happened to him. Really nothing. So you felt a bit more of the connection between mom and son in the remake. Chop it all down. It just felt like this girl hasn't done anything. It's just she's been along for the ride. Like this guy is finding the important information. This guy did his dead zone psychic ability thing to the older guy and knew Sadako's name, and he's the one talking more to the old guy, and he's the one that tried to get a boat. Then the old guy went up to him, and she's just been along for the ride. It felt like this lady hasn't done anything that proactive about it. She just kind of damn fly on the wall. Okay, so they're by the well and they decide to touch hands to see these flashbacks. Someone killed and murdered her, threw her down the damn well. Yep, her father. Yeah, but that's the thing, which was, I remember in the remake where, oh my god, this poor girl, we need to help her. She wants revenge. She's so angry, but if we rest her spirit, she'll be calmer. Instead, she was just a rage filled villain, and you let her out to be even more powerful. I don't know, the boy tells everybody watch that, you let her out? But I would say it was an interesting ending with Naomi Watts and the kid where they copy the tape and it's like, well, who are we going to show this to? Definitely leaves you some interesting questions. Does whoever you show it to, you don't know, pretty much end their life? And of course, it's how people, can you find like a murderer or someone who's really, really into kids and the bad way? Show them the damn tape and then things will be better. Okay, so he wrote. So yeah, this movie seems more about this guy than the lady. So they definitely switched it up for the remake. I think that's why maybe that's since there's so much about this guy and he's so much more focused into the story, so that when he dies, you kind of lose a bit of okay, the guy we've been following more. So like the guy who's been the most proactive, he's the guy who dies, and then the one who's been sort of doing nothing she gets saved and like, scot free, and we're left with someone who doesn't feel that strong of a character. Because in a lot of this, she's just been kind of the side. Like, seems like she would be the star, instead she's the sidekick. And I think Gore Verbinski understood that a bit more in the remake. It's like, no, Naomi Watts, she's the one whose life is on the line. Yeah, that at this point, this guy doesn't seem like he feels his life is on the line. It's what I didn't do to save you and save the kid. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you have to, it don't take a long time to get all that water out of the well doing it this way. A long time. So now they're just taking buckets of water, putting it up the well, and dumping it to the side in order to clear the water here. Obviously taking some time as the ticking away. So yeah, I think that's why the remake was worked out a bit better. Like the suspense was you're in the well, and then what's in the well, and this thing physically attacking you. Here it's the suspense is how many buckets of water do we get out of a well? This doesn't seem as effective. Is she not taking it up, or oh, okay. I thought there was something more to why that was delayed. He's like, take it up, and then she didn't at first, so I thought now it was going to be someone else taking that bucket up, but no. She's just getting tired. Again, like such a God, this guy that climbed up all by himself. So many times she just becomes so damn useless. Okay, now they're trading places, so now she's like, no, I can't do that. Well, he slapped her, but for good reason. Get your shit together, lady. God, she just seems like such a weak character. Such a weakling character. But now eventually she's in the well now. She's in the wellness program. What is she looking for? That's okay. Take your time. Just take your time. No, she just deal down a bit further if you. And she doesn't seem that. I know she's supposed to be tired, but it's like this is still your life and your son's life at risk. Yeah, she found something. The hair that should have been cut off. Okay, it's you. Now what? Call it a dead body. Well, don't have to worry about that hair anymore. Okay, we're gonna hug your skeleton. You know, that's what I would do if I find a skeleton. I would hug it. Of course, I have a bone to pick with you. Oh, okay, yeah. They say we're saved, so it is because she made that copy. And for this guy. Yeah, I was saying before when he's like, make me a copy, and then they're watching it together. But I didn't know like if he had already seen it, if that copy would work by maybe just the idea of making a copy for someone. But he did like flip through it, I guess. But I didn't know if he had already seen it once. If you make a copy, they see it again, if that would still work. Of course, we all know this ain't over. Yeah, this guy ain't gonna make it. I can't help it. Just she just comes off as such a weak ass character. It's hard to root for her. Weak willed, barely putting up a fight, barely putting in the effort. This guy did all the work to get all the water out and stuff. Not that that mattered. It was, as we all know, it was because of the copying of the tape. But so we got about 11 minutes left where we're going to find out things are not quite what they seem. Things are not quite happy in the state of Denmark. 4226, so yeah, different types of license plates over there. Right, there's a 1998 as well, but still. Yeah, this film is there, but I'm not a big fan of it. Watch it again. Again, maybe this genre just isn't for me. It just feels very slow. It doesn't feel scary. It's a big lack of scares, a big lack of thrills. It's very boring, to be honest. It's fairly boring of a movie, man. Maybe I would say I'm not a fan of the movie. As in, would I ever buy this? No. Would I ever own this? No. Would I ever watch it again willingly? No, not willingly. So, because it says Sadako, I mean, she's been such a non entity stare wise. Again, I'm not saying in terms of jump scares, but just anything. You didn't really see much of anything with her. Stupid rooster. That scared me more than the damn movie. Neighbors' roosters must have had a connection fit. Maybe they wander over here and stuff. Maybe they saw what I was watching and said, fuck this, and decided to go. At least they knew this was coming up with the tape. They knew Sadako, this tape was going to come in and say, I need to leave. Goodbye. Ciao. So it's going to come for him. So he didn't get a phone call, but that's because the phone call was only at the cabin, which I think is a weird thing that the phone call would only be there and not where you watched it. Seems like a strange way to do a curse because I don't know. That seems very strange. Like again, he has to get a phone call. Why would it only be at this cabin? Like even when he saw it, why did he not get a phone call? I still don't understand that. And why did he sit there? Why don't you try to walk? Why don't you try to run? So that would have this effect where it comes out of the TV. You see that's the movie's been building up to her coming out of the TV. Ripped up finger, no fingernails. Use your psychic abilities. I don't know. Damn, the guy having psychic abilities didn't really matter, it seemed, at the end of the day. Other than a different way to get information. Instead of just investigative journalism like in the remake. See, again, she just needs her haircut. Maybe she'd be more relaxed. Give me a haircut. Give me a fucking haircut. Up here you go. There's the eyeball, which is a lot of the marketing. Oh, she don't find out now. I guess she knows. I'm assuming now she's in this apartment, she don't realize the copying. keeps showing that chalkboard as if that's something important, the chalkboard thing. As if that equation, there's something important about it. So she's definitely confused by this. Well, the guy had a picture of her in the sun, so I guess he wasn't that bad of a guy. What did I do that you didn't? You didn't give a shit, and he did, and he died for it. I don't know, I mean... So I guess the ghost of her ex helped him point out. Well, at least he was helpful, even with a towel on his head. Yep, made a copy. Copied it and showed it to you. So I guess you don't have to make another copy. But if she watches it again, won't she also be affected again? Or... copy and show it to someone else within a week. They have to do the same thing. So it goes on and on. If you don't want to die, you'll do it, won't you? There's a storm coming. Wednesday, September 22nd. Wow, that's how it ends? Doesn't even end with any scenes of the boy. That would seem pretty damn important. Just her talking to her dad. So she don't show it to her dad, but tells her dad, make sure you show this to someone else within a week. You're a reporter. You don't think there's any, I don't know, convicted killers you could get in touch with or something? I guess not. But okay. Yeah, the ending in the remake was much more effective with her with the kid, and then they push the tape in together, so it shows that he's copying it, in case like he's the one who's got to copy it, and then the kid asks the important question: who are we going to show this to? So it leaves a nice question mark of who they'll show it to. They don't show it to someone, but they don't know who. We don't know who. So now that made it more intriguing for the viewer when it ends. Here they explain, show it to the the idea of copying, so it goes on and on, is interesting, but just like I said, this is a perfect example of a movie that had interesting ideas but wasn't fully captured in a satisfying movie, in my opinion. As you see why someone looked at this and do a remake, and in my opinion did a much better job with the remake. Much better job. So definitely say the Ring remake is better than this. In terms of visuals, really in terms of pacing, even though it's a longer movie, The lead performance is stronger because she's more proactive. She's more determined. She got some fire in her belly. The visuals of the tape itself, the mystery is a bit more engaging. So yeah. Watch it again, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this movie. It's not the worst. I still prefer it over The Grudge and other stuff because of those ideas. I don't think the acting is an issue, but yeah, the movie itself, yeah. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of it. But yeah, much prefer the remake. But that's just me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.